everybody, it's us again, the Bothas Abroad. We're here with another episode and hoping that you enjoy it.
Yeah, we sort of welcome you back to our channel. We hope that you find today's content interesting and applicable to you as well.
And we're hoping that beyond that it blesses your heart and gives you some insight.
Yeah. I think I'm going to start with an interesting fact about Ireland. So, Ireland, the population of Ireland, Republic of Ireland, is smaller than the population of the Western Cape. So that's the amount of people that's in Ireland. So it's quite a small country, and the amount of people that's in the country is smaller than that of how many people's back home in our province that we live in. And our province forms a part of our country. So it's quite a small country.
Exactly. And yet all of the good that comes out of the country.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see how people with a lesser population
Yeah.
can achieve such great feats.
That's
and just
true.
using the
rugby.
Olympics or the rugby as an example.
They've done amazing with the rugby as well.
Exactly.
Hi everybody, before we move any further, don't forget to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below.
With much irony, the topic that we will be focusing on is preparation.
Yeah.
There's a Latin saying that says Ama Victoria Curam, which means victory loves preparation, and we know that many of us can attest to this being the case in various situations in our lives. Today, however, we have kicked this session off with, can I say, minimal preparation, which brings about lots of irony. Kicking off our discussion on preparation, I have a question for you. Can you tell us about the time that you were ill-prepared and what were the consequences there?
Oh my gosh. There have been many times, but I think one of the most recent times is, so living in Ireland, we don't have any help like with the kids and like domestic services and stuff like we do in South Africa. I miss that. So on a Sunday, you actually need to be on your A game to prep for the rest of the week. So you need to set up Sunday so the rest of the week can go smoothly. But this Sunday, we decided we're going to watch movies, we're going to have takeaways, we're going to live our best lives. 8 o'clock, we're like, the evening, we're like, hey, we've done nothing to prepare for the next week. And I think the week just escalated and it was quite chaotic. Because there are small things that you can do to just prepare better for your week. And this is now like my personal point of view. And I'm trying to manage our household and our lives and our kids a bit better. And so this week, so I've learned my lesson from that week. So this week I've already started with meal prepping, even if it's 1 or 2 meals for the week. Kids' school clothes is hanging ready. And we have a few things we must all do today so that we can just be on, we can be ahead of the week. We don't want the week to come and knock us over like it did that week. Eh?
And I'm not sure about you, but have you found that in that week where all this chaos was happening, one tends to get caught up in the chaos and wondering, okay, what do I do next? And that's one of the benefits of preparation.
Yeah.
I would say it provides direction.
Yeah, it's always easier to work forward. Then, because now you're in the week, you're trying to move forward with the week, but you're also trying to catch up on all the things you didn't do on the weekend to prepare for the week or the Sunday. So it's like you're trying to work both ways, and it's just horrible. It just does not work. I will never do that to myself again. Even if I don't prepare everything, I would at least put some things in order the Sunday so that my week will go smoother.
True. For a few moments, we can actually jump into what are the misconceptions of preparation.
Yeah, let's do this.
I think one of the first, and this is where I fall short, this is where the mistake I commonly make, it's thinking that the preparation needs to be perfect.
It doesn't need to be perfect. I was saying, even if you need to prepare 10 things for your week and you only prepare 6 or 7, you're still on a better foot than if you've prepared none.
Exactly.
So it would be easy to catch up those 3 things within the week than to catch up 10 things. So I think it's a lie that the enemy tells us that, like, oh, if you didn't do the first two, just leave everything, man. If you can't manage anything, just leave everything. But if we had that attitude with everything, nothing would get done.
Exactly. And you get caught in the rut of preparation, facing perfection, resulting in procrastination.
Yeah.
Because you want to make the preparation process so perfect that you plot out everything. Another, and in addition to that, another one of the misconceptions regarding preparation is that if you prepared perfectly, everything will go exactly according to what you prepared for.
Oh, I am so guilty of that. I'm a very rigid person. Oh, I was. I'm not that rigid anymore. Kids will rock your world, eh? Kids will show you that we will throw your plans out now. We will be sick and we will stay home with you while you must work. So, yeah, I think I used to struggle back in the day with plans changing, specifically if I've worked hard to put this into place, if I prepared now and it changed. But nowadays, I'm much more gracious with myself, and I think we should all have that grace that Christ gives us, that there are things that can possibly go wrong, and we should be open to that.
And on that note, this is also one of the errors I often make, is thinking that, say you prepared for scenario A, you poured out 100% of your preparation into scenario A, knowing that scenario A must happen, but scenario B happens. Does it mean that you wasted your time in the preparation of scenario A?
No, I don't think there is any wasted time. I think even in preparation for scenario A, you would have learned a valuable lesson.
True.
Lessons would have been learned on how you can structure things. There's always a lesson in everything. And I don't feel like any preparation is in vain. What do you think? Do you think that?
I don't think it's wasted, because the fact that you are prepared for so prepared for scenario A that if it were to happen, you would glide through with it, and scenario B happens, you can then use your time or energy that you would have spent on scenario A and actually roll with the flow in scenario B. But if you actually don't have anything prepared, everything is going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
It's better to be prepared and be surprised than to not be prepared and have everything as a surprise.
That's true. That's true. I also feel like being prepared, it gives you a more positive mindset. Like, if I wake up and I know I've set things in place for the week or for the day, or I know the flow of my day, and I've prepared things to go with the flow of my day, I feel more confident. I feel more positive. And I think that's a huge assist to mental health, man, issues. Like, if you know you're going to have a tough day, like, how can you prepare for the tough day? Like, what can you do to make things easier for yourself, to minimize the tasks that's at hand? And I think that contributes a lot, specifically to me, maybe it's in my scenario, because I'm working, I'm sorting out the kids, you're running a home, you're trying to wear all these hats, but what can you do to minimize the chaos of tomorrow? I think that must be my logo. What preparation can you do to minimize the chaos of tomorrow? There's always probably going to be a bit of chaos, but how can we minimize it?
And this brings me to another point on preparation, and I would like to know your thoughts on this. Being the, can you call it divine preparation? What are your thoughts on on divine preparation, where God uses your past to prepare you for your future? And I know if I look at my life, there are so many times that I would look back and be like, yo, what happened in year so and so actually prepared me for this moment, so that I don't freak out in that case. And have you ever had such?
Yeah, I think I have many of those. When we're in the preparation, it never makes sense to us. We're always like, why, Lord? Why do I have to go through this? Why must I encounter this tough season or this tough time? While God is preparing us for our futures. But once you're out of that season and you see why God prepared you in that way, you see the benefit of the preparation that God took you through. So, Keegan, can you tell me an interesting experience? Seeing that you asked me about my interesting experience of not being prepared, can you share with us an interesting experience where you were prepared?
Well, I think in this experience, my preparation stemmed from you being prepared.
Always, always, guys, always.
I think
I don't even want to start the stories, but always.
or most relationships, you have the one that's um, moving with
The spirit of preparation.
or strong admin abilities, and the other that focuses on
Like
the
piggybacks.
spontaneity and creativity.
Some call it spontaneity, some call it piggybacking.
But I would say the way being prepared benefited me or benefited us was in getting the documentation in order for moving to Ireland.
Yeah, and nobody was going to turn me around at immigration.
I remember when I went to the immigration office to get my PPS.
Yeah, which is like a social service number, like an ID number.
I pitched up at the offices and I took all my documentation out, and the lady, oh sorry, the guy that was helping me, he actually mentioned it. He said like, "Yo, you are very prepared for this thing, so it should go very quick."
So
And
what did you tell him at that moment?
God blessed me with a wife that operates in good admin.
Oh Lord, forgive this lies. I'm sure you didn't say that.
But the benefits thereof is, or what I've seen as a benefit in that moment was, firstly, because I came prepared and the person helping me saw I was prepared, they had a greater pleasure in servicing me.
Yeah, it's so
And
good.
that would basically then move or have a knock-on effect of them wanting to go the extra mile for you because you were prepared, and they could breeze through most of the forms and so forth because you had all your documentation in order.
So I think the closing line for this preparation is marry a good wife. But one day, Keegan will do admin, guys.
Yes, and I think because it depends on the relationship as well. There are
Yeah.
lots of relationships where, lots of
Marriages.
marriages, yes, where the guy is the one that's strong with administration and preparation and so forth.
But I didn't know that preparation story, so thanks for sharing it.
And now you know, yeah. Hey everybody, if you enjoyed today's video, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment on what you would like us to speak about next.